Welcome to Moonlight Recaps. We specialize in sci-fi movie recaps, film recaps, and do an in-depth analysis to give you story explanations, movie explanations, and full movie retellings. Today's movie recap is Deus. Let's dive in. The movie begins with Earth facing a major environmental crisis. With the population exceeding 20 billion, many areas have become unlivable. Suddenly, a massive black hole appears near Mars, claiming to be God. The spaceship Achilles is sent to investigate. Carla Gray, an astronaut on the Achilles, reflects on her life back on Earth. She recalls how, despite the planet's decline, she and her family found joy in each other's company. She remembers a special evening by the ocean with her daughter and mother. That night, her mother told them a story, creating a cherished memory during difficult times. In Carla's mother's story, there were 5 men in a tiny boat adrift in the ocean, with only enough food and water for 3 of them. She asked Carla how it should be decided which 2 men should die and which 3 should live. Carla remembers her mother's answer, but isn't sure why she told her the story. Tragically, a few hours later, an accident occurred, resulting in the deaths of both her mother and daughter. Aboard the spaceship Achilles, the 6-person crew awakens from an 8-month cryogenic sleep as they approach the red planet, Mars. Carla wakes up before the others and takes an elevator from the back of the ship to the front. She enters her room, where pictures of her mother and daughter cover the walls. As the rest of the crew wakes up, they include Tez, Sean, Ulf, and C, who is only on the ship to document the journey as a blogger. Carla heads to the command cabin and meets Captain Sen. Together, they observe the mysterious black sphere, which is the reason for their mission. The sphere appeared next to Mars some time ago, and its nature is completely unknown. The purpose of their mission is to investigate this enigmatic object, hoping to uncover its secrets and perhaps find a way to save Earth. Carla asks Captain Sen if they have received any new data now that they are near the sphere. Sen replies that they have, but the data reveals nothing. Carla is puzzled, pointing out that their scanners can see through entire planets, so how can they not see through the sphere? Sen admits he doesn't know. Carla then questions their plan, and Sen confirms they will proceed toward the sphere as initially intended. Carla is bewildered that Sen wants them to approach something they know nothing about. C arrives, documenting everything for his blog, while Ulf ejects one of the ship's depleted cores, which explodes in space. The CEO of the space company, Vance, speaks to the crew through hologram technology. He tells them that the entire world is watching and waiting for them to discover what the black sphere is. Carla tells Vance that their data reveals nothing, even after coming close to the sphere. Vance emphasizes that the sphere is the greatest mystery in human history, and if their scanners aren't providing information, they must find other means to investigate. He instructs the crew to go speak to their families in their rooms for comfort and motivation. As the crew heads to their rooms, Carla reflects on the gravity of their mission and the enigmatic object they are about to confront. Meanwhile, Ms., the AI system controlling the ship, can take over if needed. As Carla walks back to her room, she hears her mother's voice. At the same time, C hears voices too. Suddenly, a beam of light shoots out from the black sphere and hits the Achilles spaceship, damaging all of the ship's communication systems and cutting it off from Earth. Carla asks Ms. what the light source is and what hit the ship, but the data reveals nothing. Sen insists they stay on course toward the sphere, which baffles Carla. A signal starts transmitting from the sphere to the ship. Carla decodes it and finds it repeatedly says, Deus, which is Latin for God. Sai panics and insists they need to turn back. Carla argues with Sen, saying they need to stop and investigate before moving further. Sen, however, insists they must follow orders and continue toward the sphere. Carla is confused by his insistence. She comforts C, who tells her he hears voices calling and screaming, believing this is Judgment Day. He insists they must turn back. Carla discusses the situation with Sean and Ulf, while Sen watches through the ship's surveillance system. They debate whether the sphere is actually God or not. Carla remains skeptical, but the rest of the crew is scared that it might be. Carla insists it's not God, but Ulf suggests they might never know unless they investigate. Sen calls the crew to the command cabin. When Ulf arrives, Sen warns him to avoid any further talk of destroying the sphere. Carla hears her daughter's voice again, and C also hears voices. Tez informs Carla and Ulf that C has gone deeper into the ship and they need to find him. Meanwhile, C is engaged in a bizarre ritual, carving symbols into his skin with a knife. Tez approaches to retrieve him, but C attacks her. Hearing Tez's screams, Ulf and Carla follow the sound. Carla discovers Psy attacking Tez and tries to stay hidden, but C sees her. Ulf finds C holding Carla hostage. C insists they need to turn the ship around, and Ulf and Carla suggest discussing it with Sen. However, C warns them not to trust Sen, claiming he knows something. Sen arrives and shoots C in the head, instructing Ulf to clean up the bodies of Tez and C. After this, Sen and Carla return to the front of the ship, with Sen oddly calm about the recent events. Carla questions if he knows anything about the sphere, and he says he only knows that the sphere claims to be God. Carla expresses her disbelief in God, but Sen taunts her, questioning why she fears this mission. He reminds her that the entire world is watching and waiting for her to complete it. They reach the sphere and separate the smaller module from the Achilles ship, landing on the sphere, and Carla detects a structure on the sphere. Meanwhile, communications are restored with Earth, and Vance appears to speak with the crew. He informs them that similar structures are now appearing all over Earth, and no one has any answers, so it's up to the crew to figure it out. Sen instructs Carla and Ulf to go out onto the sphere and observe the structure. Sean insists on joining them, and Carla agrees because Sean is the only other scientist on the ship, and she needs his expertise. The three venture onto the surface of the sphere. Carla notes that the material the sphere is made of is not found on the periodic table. It's unknown to Carla what she's observing, but she detects a structure, which turns out to be a gateway. Light emanates from it, and a woman emerges, bearing a striking resemblance to Carla's daughter. Signals containing words start coming from the sphere, and the woman translates them for Carla. The woman claims to speak for the Creator, the Alpha and Omega of all existence. She presents humanity with a choice. Those who enter the gates will return to their Creator in peace. Carla inquires about those who don't enter, and the woman reveals that the sphere contains the event horizon of a black hole, which will eventually destroy Earth. Sen grants Carla permission to proceed into the gate. The woman then transforms into Carla's mom, and emotionally moved, Carla walks into the gate. She finds herself in a beautiful green field behind a golden city, where her daughter awaits. They run towards each other, but the vision abruptly ends. Carla awakens back on the ship, in terrible condition. Ulf informs her that Sean didn't make it. Meanwhile, Vance appears on call, urging Carla to share her experience with the world. As she recalls her experience, Carla notices a smirk on Sen's face and stops short of mentioning seeing her daughter. Then, Vance and Sen advise her to rest, and both leave. Carla questions Ulf about Sean's fate, suspecting foul play. As Ulf escorts Carla, they reach an unsupervised area, where he confronts her about withholding part of her experience. Carla suspects Vance and Sen already knew what she saw beyond the gate, and wanted her to say it on camera. Examining Sean's suit, Carla discovers it wasn't ruptured, contradicting Ulf's explanation. She breaks into Sen's cabin, finding incriminating files. Then, Ulf admits he's a hitman hired by Vance to tie up loose ends, revealing he killed Sean. Hearing this, Carla takes Sen and Ulf hostage, demanding answers. During this, Vance appears, claiming she saw heaven beyond the gate, and shows her that millions are now flocking to the gates on Earth because of her experience. In a desperate move to gain control, Sen attacks Carla, but she retaliates and shoots him dead, sustaining injuries in the process. As she's about to eliminate Ulf, he convinces her of his newfound desire for the truth. With Ulf's help, Carla tends to her wounds and expresses her desire to return to the sphere. However, they face a hurdle as Vance has control over Ms. Ulf reveals that he possesses the code to override Miz's control, but ejecting a majority of the ship is necessary since it's too large to steer manually. Carla realizes they won't be able to return to Earth without the larger part of the ship. Therefore, Ulf suggests an alternative plan involving the smaller module to get them back to Earth, albeit in 6 years. But he has another idea. After this, Carla confronts Vance in the command module, demanding the truth. Vance reveals that the sphere is a human creation designed to control overpopulation. The gates on Earth are made from the same material, and the plan is to manipulate religious sentiment to persuade billions to enter the gates willingly, reducing the population drastically. Carla learns that Vance orchestrated the accident that killed her family and implanted a microchip in her brain to control her perceptions. Then, Carla recalls a story her mother told her about stranded people in the ocean, emphasizing the importance of giving everyone a chance to shape their own destiny. Refusing to be manipulated, Carla rejects Vance's offer to join him in his scheme. Meanwhile, Ulf retrieves a depleted core to destroy the sphere. Vance orders Ms. to self-destruct the ship, but using Ulf's override code, Carla detaches the smaller module. However, they realize they must manually detonate the core on the sphere's surface. After this, Carla and Ulf reach the sphere, but Ulf sacrifices himself by locking Carla inside and detonating the core, destroying the sphere. Carla calculates the journey back to Earth, realizing it will take 7 years. With a heavy heart, she embarks on the lonely journey home, determined to reveal the truth about the sinister plot. This is where the movie ends. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps.